Okay, we are live.
All right, welcome back to another WWE podcast, joined by Canadian Yorker. I am Bruin Steel, and we are about to talk about the Backlash pay-per-view that took place this past weekend. So, yeah, we haven't done a podcast on the pay-per-view for a while now. So what's going on, everyone? Um, so um, so we're just gonna get started. So both of us didn't really watch Backlash, and it just I don't know. I was working and we were both busy, but you didn't watch Backlash, did you?
So I unfortunately did not watch Backlash because I did when WWE switched from Peacock to ESPN, I stopped watching WWE, and so I did not watch Backlash because I don't have ESPN.
All right. So let's get started. So there was, I mean, you said there was a lot of people that said that Backlash was pretty bad, but there was a few matches that were pretty good. The opening match between Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker in a one-on-one match. I really liked this match. It was long. It was great. It was thrilling. Um, it went back and forth, and obviously there was chance in this match. Saying this is awesome chance. Both men just went back and forth, and this is just was like all despite all the interference. Of course, there was interference in this match. Logan Paul and Austin Theory ran interference, but um, Seth Rollins was ready. Probably the most amazing thing I saw was Seth Rollins counting a spear into a pedigree. So Braun Breaker went for a spear, and Rollins just countered that spear into a pedigree. But it wasn't enough. Breaker caught a mid leap, and then Braun Breaker spears Seth Rollins and gets to three to win the match. So Braun Breaker, perhaps one of the biggest wins in his career, gets to win over Seth Rollins. Like I said, it was a great match. There was interference. Despite the interference, it was still a great match, in my own opinion. Up and downs, obviously, this rivalry has become intense, like just been on another level since Seth Rollins came back as the Masked Man. So yeah, I love this match. I think I give it like a B plus. That's what the website gave it to you, or I'm reading off. So I'm giving it like a B plus or something like that, or an A minus. So
Yeah. Uh,
so um, did you watch highlights or not really? What was your thoughts on this match?
so I'm just going off of um, what I am hearing. I actually have not seen the highlights of what happened in this match, but after hearing that, you know, that Stormbreaker and Logan Paul and Jelly Wall tried to interfere in this match against Seth Rollins, it makes it, to me, it seems like I think Seth Rollins knows as the type of person he knows what it's like to ambush people, and I would say it'll be kind of difficult, excuse me, to try to pull off ambushing Seth Rollins when Seth Rollins has done that for the majority of his career and knows how to pull off those types of tricks. Um, I would say that this match seems to be a, a pretty good solid start to the beginning of Backlash, and the match between them was a pretty entertaining one, and neither of them gave it their all, and made sure that you know, that one of them was able to come out the winner and be successful. So my point for Braun Breaker now is what is going to be the next step in his career, and what where should he be going? Um, who is he going to challenge for the championship next? I think Braun Breaker could be the guy that can take his division to the next level, and he does deserve to be champion again. Um, as for Seth Rollins, what what's the next step for Seth Rollins? I believe that this feud is not over yet between them, and there's still much left to be seen.
All right. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think this feud is going to be over as soon as possible. I think it's just going to keep going. So, moving on to the next match, we got like Trick Williams defending the United States title against Sami Zayn. That's been going quite a while now. The whole gingerbread man gig is getting boring. It's weird. It's kind of funny sometimes, but it's weird. Yeah. Um, Sami Zayn and Trick Williams. This is actually interesting. Um, Honestly, I kind of expected Trick Williams to win. It's like Trick Williams is great coming from NXT and winning a title and beating a guy that's been around the main roster for like forever. Um, Trick Williams defeats Sami Zayn. Um, Once again, Trick Williams defeats him, retaining the United States title. There was interference in this match too. Trick Williams' boy, Gavkey, I forgot, I don't know who he is exactly. Um, but it just so this is interesting because I think this is the first time in history this has happened. Probably happened before. This is the first time. I don't know if the rumors are true. I just saw an article about it, but I don't know if it's true. Like it actually happened. But this is the first time we had a double churn. So we have a double churn. It said that there was a double churn in this match. Sami Zayn was a face going into this match, and Trick Williams was a heel going into this match. And like I said, there's rumors saying that we had a double churn in this match where Sami Zayn just turned heel, and then Trick Williams as a babyface. So both men just kind of both turned. So like Sami Zayn's going to be a heel now, and then Trick Williams a babyface. So you can hear people booing for Sammy and cheering on Trick. So it's kind of like slowly going into that double churn. Officially on the WWE site, it says that Sami Zayn is a heel and Trick Williams is a babyface. That's kind of crazy to think that I don't know what is the storyline or whatever, but don't get me wrong, I'm kind of not surprised this happened because Sami Zayn, ever since he won the U.S. title, he's been getting booed. Trick Williams has been getting cheered. Um, so that's just the thing. Yeah, Trick Williams defeats Sami Zayn to retain the title with a double churn, which I hope is right. But like, I heard an interview saying that Sami Zayn said that he's not a heel yet. He just like slowly, but I'm not sure what to believe.
I mean, it is kind of interesting that one would have a double turn between Trick Williams and Sami Zayn. Um, as from a wrestling standpoint, I believe Sami Zayn does want to get his title back and and be successful. Um, I also think that um, for Trick Williams to win, it's a positive win for him. It's a great win for him in the next step of as himself as a WWE wrestler. Um, there's a lot left to be said. So um, I would say that I don't think this is the first time I've heard of a double heel turn because I clearly remember, and you might remember this, Dominic Mysterio betraying Rhea Ripley when she was a heel, so that and having and joining himself to Liv Morgan, basically doing a heel move and a heel move, basically doing a double heel move in one setting. So I think that you, this is not the first time I've seen a double heel move before. Um, so that's all I have to say about that.
All right. We're trying to get through this because we're both tired. Um,
Yes.
he was sleeping. Um, so moving on, we got the worst, probably one of the worst. matches I've ever seen on a pay-per-view. We have Danhausen with a mystery partner against The Miz and Kit Wilson. Like, what are you doing, man? Like, why is this on the pay-per-view? Like, and 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 to think that Danhauser didn't have a partner, and to see his real partner, Danhauser just why produced a mini clone of himself, and it was just a mini Danhauser, just shorter than him. And then I just heard the guy was just some wrestler from AAA that's just really tiny, and and then he just pressed that Danhauser. That's what I heard.
I know who you're talking about. I know who you're
I, I
talking
don't
about.
I
I
don't
can't
know
believe
if
they
I
used
don't
that
know if it was
guy.
him. I don't know if it was him though. That's the thing.
No way. No
Um,
way, man. No
and then
way.
the Mini Hauser dominated early, and
Oh
then
my
Miz
goodness.
and Kurt Wilson. It just, I mean,
What?
the Miz, the Miz hit crush, a skull crushing finale, only for Danhauser to break his pin. Miz accidentally blinded himself with a fire stimulator, and Danhauser picked up the win. Danhauser and Mini Hauser defeat the Miz and Kit Wilson. Dude, this guy gave this grade a C plus. I give it a D. It was bad. Um, Firstly, why not? Like people were saying that it might have been Jelly Roll to be Dan Houser's partner, um, and it just why? Like holy moly! Like I mean, the thing is this: like why does Dan Houser and Minnie Houser? That just sounds so weird, and the fact that this happened, the fact that they actually won, the Miz and Kit Wilson should be ashamed of themselves. They just lost to like a mini Hauser and a just the actual Dan Hauser. Like to even think that they just got the like they lost, like it's just sad.
It, it's beyond sad. This is an embarrassment to the company that this match should have happened on a PPV for all intents and purposes. But
To have the
it's basically
Miz, like to have the Miz of all people lose to a mini Hauser and a Dan Hauser,
you know what this
a
is.
former WWE champion.
This is this is this is I would say that this is bad writing on WWE's part. Bad writing for the writers who came up with this idea and who even thought of letting John Harrison into WWE and becoming a WWE wrestler. I just think that this whole thing with just basically getting an unknown wrestler coming from another place, another company to come in and to do his thing as a wrestler. You expect him to be a powerful guy, a strong guy, but to me, he's like another like a regular dude. You know, um, I would say that I can't believe that they used the wrestler, the AAA wrestler um, from in WWE like this because he had a really good segment with himself and almost when he was on his brand of TV. It would have made more sense if they had um, Kip Fisto with and um, and the Miz versus Omos and then Harrison. Like I can see that playing out right there. And I know Omos is not cut from WWE yet, but he's still active or he's still there on the roster. Um, but it is what it is. But I think it's just it's the match. The whole match is a waste. It's a wasted spot. You could have had a championship match between like you could have a tag team championship match, a women's championship match, a women's tag team championship
So
match.
Clash in Italy is coming up, and there's rumors that it might be a rematch between Roman and Jacob Fatu. But man, if if Clash in Italy don't have any women's matches like the championship matches, I'm done. This is crazy like that. It has to have title matches. I think they might. So Saturday night event is coming up, and then I think they might be doing Talking about this woman. The thing is, like, Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan doesn't have a opponent right now. They're just using her as a jogger, like a bodyguard. Like, what the hell was the point of putting her, giving her the title if she's not going to defend it? Like right now, um, she's just going to be at ringside, because I think Paige and Brie or whoever, yeah, Brie Bella is defending those titles against Judgment Day. So Roxanne and Raquel will have a chance to win those titles. They might even do that. Um,
Uh,
but then it's just, and then you got Jade Cargill. You have Jade Cargill that just returned. Jade Cargill just returned back from like a break, and she attacked Rhea Ripley. So we might just get a rematch between Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill, which I don't mind. I mean, I don't mind that because they only faced off only once with Rhea Ripley winning at WrestleMania. So they kind of need to extend that feud. So I can understand if they do that at Clash of Italy or something like that. But and then I like to see Tiffany defend the title at a pay per view, but right now she's doing like open challenges on Friday Night SmackDown. So maybe not. I don't know. Um, but that's just the same with the women's division.
I would, I
Like,
would, I would say this. I'll say this other thing. I was hearing what other people just going back to the match between Danhausen and the Miz. I was just thinking that I heard other people's reactions online about what they thought about the match, and they said it was absolutely horrible. The wasted roster spot, and it just should not be part of the program at that point because they basically wasted. They wasted people's time, you know. And Danhausen, he came in. He's new. He's funny. He's whatever. Um, but at the same time, he basically him doing his own monologue about what's happening basically took off a lot of time off of the program that was there. So it was about 30 minutes. So um, he's in a major pay per view. It makes sense that they should be just going to the action and getting stuff done. And I honestly think, I don't know what the next step that they're going to take this storyline because it's so weird. So we have to see what's going to happen with that going forward.
all right, so all right, let's talk about the next match. This is another match. Look, Backlash, in my own opinion, wasn't bad. It was just one bad match. Like I said, I love the Braun Breaker Seth Rollins match. Here's another match that I enjoyed. I didn't watch it, but I saw highlights. It looked like it was pretty good. Asuka versus Io Sky.
Whew,
Um,
whew,
so
whew.
I love this match. It was great. A plus. Oh, absolutely. I love this match. Asuka, the rivalry, the storyline. Everyone was chanting, "We want Kairi Sane." Obviously the shocking release of Kairi Sane. People wanted her to show up and cost Asuka. People want to see Kairi Sane like becoming a face and actually signing for Io, but it wasn't going to happen. People. This was a great match. Two Japanese women going at it. Um, um, Oscar tried to use the blue mist again, but this time Io was ready, blocking it with Wade Barrett's notebook. So that was kind of funny. And then went back and forth. Um, and then end up Io Sky with an amazing match. Ends up delivering the bullet turn and then added over by the moonsault for the victory. So we got Io Sky defeating Asuka. What a match! Um, Io kind of needed that because all the times Asuka kind of won. And the big story, obviously, the end of the era. Who knows? No one knows if she's going to retire. But by the look of her eyes, it looks like she's taking a break from WWE or she's actually retiring. We might have seen Asuka's last match. Asuka and Io hug it out. Asuka with tears, and then they just hug, showing the respect. It could just be Asuka turning face, taking a break, and coming back as a baby face. But there was a lot of tributes for Asuka. Who knows? She might be done with WWE. Um, People are saying that she just might take a break. But man, if this really was Asuka's last match, Asuka, thank you for everything you've done for WWE. I enjoyed watching you. You're gonna be missed. But I hope it's not the end. Um, we need to see Asuka and Io team up one more time. I'm praying it's just she's taking a break. Um, but she was crying, so I'm not. I'm scared that it might just be her last match that we just witnessed. But we just gotta wait and see. But Io Sky defeating Asuka. Asuka possibly just finished her last match in WWE. So we have to see what happens. And I feel for Io because she lost Kairi, she lost now Asuka, if that's true, and she lost Rhea Ripley. So, um, any thoughts?
Yeah, I would say that, congratulations to Asuka on her is the last ride or last
It might be.
match with
It might
WWE.
be. It might. It may.
And
It may not.
um,
But we'll see.
so I saw online that WWE actually confirmed that Asuka is semi-retired from WWE. So I, I think that she is retired, um, in a sense. Like she's gonna be like working part time, I guess, with the company, but not like she's not really gonna be working all the time, So she is retired. So it was a great match between Asuka and Io. Asuka, doing the usual tricks and making a impact. I think she's honestly one of the most influential female wrestlers in the WWE women's scene. She has done so much as um, as a wrestler for the women's side. She really brought it into relevance. She's just been so unpredictable. You never know what she's gonna do, one thing or another. I would say her heel turn and her joining the Damage Control was one thing that really elevated Damage Control to become the most powerful teams of its era. For that short period of time that they were together, I would say Damage Control was on top of the world, man. Um, and her being with Damage Control really elevated them to the next level. Um, it's just so sad to see her go, and under the conditions that they're in right now with WWE, under being under the horrible management that they're under, and it's just horrible management. Everything is bad with WWE. The product is horrible. Um, Asuka's just made her mark and left it there. Everything in the ring, and even with her losing Kairi Sane, because Kairi Sane is so pivotal in this matchup between with her and Io Sky, it just seems it with Io gets the win, but it just doesn't see it's not the same. It's not the same because all the Dead Control members are gone. Most of them are gone. Dakota Kai is gone. She got released. Kairi Sane got released. It's only Asuka's retired. Io is the only one there. Bailey and Io are the only ones left, and unfortunate, you know. Um, but that's the way things are in the business. So you just have to deal with it and find ways to move forward despite the difficulties. Um, I would say that with Rhea Ripley um, being doing her own thing, I would say that you know it was good while it lasted. And it would have been kind of interesting to see how Rhea would have been there too with helping her against Asuka. But I really like the idea that was just between Asuka and Io Sky. That really summed up their rivalry and their matchup together. So I like that. That was a beautiful ending.
All right, so main event, we got the World Heavyweight Championship, Jacob Fatu and Roman Reigns, a rivalry that's going just nonstop. Just kind of started, the history between these two cousins in the Samoan family. There's like they're actually cousins in real life, so it's crazy to see. Obviously this rivalry just started off with Roman hitting the super punch and Jacob Fatu kicking it too. I saw Roman go through the announce table. It just went back forth. There was a lot of near falls. They went back and forth. Rumors that saying that can the Usos show up in this match? Or are the Usos actually going to turn their back on? We talked about this in the last broadcast. Like, is it possible that we see the Usos turn their back on Roman and side with Jacob? But they didn't show up. It just went back and forth. Roman Reigns eventually gets the spear and gets the win. Roman Reigns retained the World Heavyweight Championship, but post match, Jacob Fatu gets pissed off and he attacks Roman Reigns after the match with a Tongan death grip, nearly choking Roman Reigns out. Um, and this past Monday, we saw Jacob Fatu actually totally destroyed the Usos and Roman. So this feud is not done yet, but Roman Reigns, you kind of expect that he wasn't going to drop the title in his first title defense. So this rivalry is probably going to go all the way to like maybe some. I'm hoping it's just a small rivalry. It's hoping like maybe to Clash in Italy. They're probably going to face off in Clash in Italy. Who knows? Do you think is this the time? Everyone's asking, is it about time? I mean, I know that Jacob Fatu, I think he held the United States title. But isn't it about time that we put a main event title on Jacob Fatu, like the World Heavyweight Championship? Do you think it's time for Jacob Fatu to hold a bigger title than the United States title? Obviously Roman, he's been there, but I mean, is Jacob ready? I mean, he's. I think Jacob would be a great champion, but we saw Jacob Fatu as a face and then a tweener, and now he's officially a heel after attacking Roman. So you got that heel versus face kind of rivalry going, so which is nice. It's always going to happen in WWE. So Roman survives, but at what cost? With Jacob attacking him after the match. It's not going to be the last we're going to see these two fight over the title. Um, I mean, it might just be a man's dream to feud with your cousin over a title. That's probably their childhood dream. Just so, any thoughts? What?
Um, I would say that this is the beginning of a rivalry between Roman and Jacob Fatu because Jacob Fatu was Roman wasn't really involved in Jacob's rivalry with Solo Sokoa and himself. So I would say this is the first time that this rivalry has came to be. I would say it probably had its genesis back when the the Jacob Fatu and Solo were going against the Bloodline, the OG Bloodline. So in honesty, I think this is just the first of many clashes. As for your question, as for Jake, is Jacob Fatu ready for the bigger championships? I would say he has to win some more championships first before he can go for the world heavyweight title. He still has to win the intercontinental title championship and hold it for himself, and he also has to. Well, of course, he does have to win the world heavyweight title and the WWE championship, but I would say right now he can't do that right now because um, he is where he is. So I would say that he's not ready for the World Heavyweight Championship right now. And Roman Reigns is obviously he has his aura, he has his ability to make a difference in the ring and outside the ring. He can make things um, make he can elevate stories. So for Roman Reigns, we can't count out Roman Reigns and how he's going to be able to put a good story together and really shape the the future of the I would say that the future of the picture of the world heavyweight title scene. Um, it makes sense that I think Roman. It's good that Roman won, and Roman can now take the world heavyweight championship to its next level where it has to be at. And as for you know the Usos getting involved in Roman Reigns' business, I would say that they don't have to necessarily turn heel on Roman yet. We've seen them turn heel before. We've seen um, them turn against Roman, but I would say for them to turn against Roman again, it doesn't make sense right now because these they could. I think Jimmy Uso right now. Jimmy Uso needs some love. Jimmy Uso, once he comes back from you know being on a hiatus with his with his new son, Jimmy Uso needs to push. He needs to win some singles matches. I think Jey Uso has won singles matches, so Jimmy Uso needs to do that, and you know he just has to keep on improving. So that's all I have to say about that. So
All right, so that's Backlash. So yeah, there was probably only one terrible, horrible match, which was the Dan Hauser match. But I like the other three. They were great. I mean, people say Backlash was terrible, but I think that the other three. I mean, there was a lot of good matches besides that Dan Hauser. So I don't know why. I mean, I don't know overall what people saw about like the Roman match. I mean, people probably didn't like that Jacob Fatu turn on like attacked Roman. I mean, it's a feud. I don't know if they said that like the whole pay per view overall was bad or just that match, but I honestly like 3 out of the 4 matches that um Backlash had. So I don't know. Um, but we have to see what happens. Anything else?
I would say that the only two good matches that happened, or three. You had the Io Sky and Io Sky and Oscar match. The Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu, and the very first match you mentioned in the beginning, which was
Seth Rollins and Braun
yeah, the
Breaker.
Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker matchup. Honestly, we'll have to see what's going to happen with those matches. The Danhausen match was horrible, absolutely horrible. I'm just emphasizing it. Let me speak it clearly in the mic. Horrible, horrible. Danhausen should be jobbing it out. And honestly, it would have made sense if Danhausen had LA Knight to be his partner. That would make more sense. Um,
R-Truth.
but or our truth that would make more sense. But I think our truth right now is champion with Damian Priest. So doesn't that's for him to be champion with Danhausen, I guess I could see it because they have similar. Um, uh, they're not the same, but our truth is good at comedy, and Danhausen is good at comedy, so they would make a really good duo as a comedic team. And I would honestly like to see our truth be a little bit more serious when he's doing his thing. But we'll have to see what's gonna happen with that going forward.
Yeah, they gave that Danhauser match a C plus.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah,
There's no way they can escape this. They cannot escape this. Can't escape this
like
one.
are they just gonna keep they're just gonna keep have they're just gonna keep having Danhauser feud with Kit Wilson and Miz.
Honestly, that is not what is going to draw. That's not going to draw their valued customers. You know, it's not gonna draw the fans. It's not gonna draw nobody. So
Like
they have to change things up.
Who's Danhauser gonna feud with next? Jacob Fatu?
Oh God, no, no, no. It's just
Like,
sad. It's so sad.
dude, what would be funny if Danhauser feud was like Logan Paul and Austin Theory?
I could see that happening, but I just can't. I can't see that happening because it's Danhausen is. I think he's a silly character. He's a silly wrestler. So it
I
just
want to
wouldn't
see
add
I
up.
want to see Danhauser I want to see Danhauser feud with Otis and Tozawa. That'd be funny.
Actually, that would be a good
There's
idea.
rumors actually. There's rumors. So this is something like they've been doing this for backstage. So you guys notice something? Maxine Debris is hanging out. Maxine Debris is hanging out with Division a lot. So there's kind of like a tease that Maxine Debris might leave the Alpha Academy and then she'll join the Division. But Maxine Debris as a Paul Heyman guy, I don't see it. Like I don't understand. I mean, they're teasing it. You see Maxine Debris and Austin Theory talking, like in a backstage segment or like just in the background. Um, you see Maxine Debris sitting with Austin Theory, waiting for Austin Theory to get into a car. You see Maxine Debris sitting with like Austin Theory is like, what angle is this? Does this mean something? Is Maxine Debris gonna somehow? Do you think you're gonna have like Division versus Alpha Academy, and you have Maxine Debris just completely betraying Tazawa and Otis? Because Otis actually get her his heart broken before. If you guys remember the whole Mandy Rose storyline with Dolph Ziggler, is poor Otis gonna get his heart broken again by having Maxine betray him and go for like Austin Theory. And that's a love triangle again. Well, imagine if they do that. Otis, Austin Theory, and Maxine Debris. Is this a love triangle again? Ugh.
I mean, they're basically throwing everything they can to make things work. So Alpha Academy versus the
To be
Vision,
to be
I
honest,
could see
I
that
wouldn't mind
happening.
if I wouldn't mind if Maxine Debris joined Division. I think it's about time that Maxine kind of makes. I think it's she's due for a heel turn. I think it's been so long since we've seen Maxine Debris become a heel because her last heel run was just a complete joke. The only heel she was just some with models or where Maxine models, whoever, and she was a heel, and she didn't really do much. I think I like to see a much more darker side where she's more serious, like she actually wrestles, acts like a heel, win matches, wins the championship. I think I like to see Maxine Debris do that because, like I said, her last time she was a heel was during the pandemic, like way before the pandemic. And it was terrible because she didn't wrestle at all. She was just a heel that got booed at. Um, so I think I like to see a change in Maxine's character. I think like this time she's a heel, she's more serious. Like she's not playing around. She's actually a vicious heel that wrestles and wins, and she's part of a faction. Like, do you think the thing is like, is she gonna join the Division? Like, I wouldn't mind that, but is she really a Paul Heyman girl? I don't know. Everyone thought that Becky Lynch was gonna be the first ever Paul Heyman girl, but that didn't happen. So do you think maybe secretly Paul Heyman's a fan of Maxine Debris? Do you think they're actually doing the storyline with Maxine being the first Paul Heyman girl?
I
I'm
got
not seeing it, but it's like it'd be pretty cool though if Maxine Debris was a Paul Heyman girl, like just more serious, have advocate like Paul Heyman. I never seen Maxine Debris and Paul Heyman like
interact.
interact, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I do think that Alpha Academy is due for a change. I think Maxine, honestly, it would make sense for Maxine to leave Alpha Academy because, honestly, Otis and Tozawa have not done much ever since last time I checked. They didn't do anything. They haven't done much. They never went for tag team titles. Maxine never went for the singles. Becoming a champ. Challenging for a championship.
Maxine,
You know,
there's rumors that Maxine might renew her rivalry with Becky, but more serious. You might have a heel Maxine versus a babyface Becky, which I don't know if that's gonna work
I
out.
don't think it doesn't make sense for
Because
Maxine.
the thing is like this, it kind of makes sense because obviously Maxine and Becky, Maxine was the face, Becky, and if you guys don't know, that makes perfect sense because who is the Vision, who is the Vision feuding with right now? Seth Rollins, and you got Becky Lynch, um, like kind of feuding with Maxine Debris, and you have that feud. You get Seth Rollins in the mix because he's already with Division. You have Maxine join Division, and you have like Becky Lynch be the face with her husband. You kind of have like Maxine and Becky going at it. This time Becky as the face, and then Maxine with the as the heel. But then you have like Maxine get the edge more. Like you have Maxine beat Becky for the title, and then it's just all. And then you still have the Vision feuding with Seth Rollins. You can do a whole like Seth Rollins and Becky versus like Maxine and whoever, Logan Paul or Austin Theory or whatever like that. But I mean, that could happen. I mean, we'll see what happens. But thing is, do you guys see? Question is, do you guys see Maxine Debris be a Paul Heyman girl? I can't see it, but I think it'll be interesting to see like Paul Heyman by Maxine Debris' side.
I think it's a good thing because Maxine needs that experience. She needs that coaching. and Paul Heyman is a perfect person that can help her to really get to the next level. I would definitely. It makes sense that Maxine would do
And
that.
that means like
Um,
you have like Paul Heyman, Austin Theory, Logan Paul, and Braun Breaker. Do you think Maxine can be in part of it? Like that means like
I
Braun
think.
Breaker and Maxine together? Ugh.
I
Like
think.
what the hell?
I think it's a little weird to think about, but I think it's at the same time it's a weird mix up, but it's something I think that may be needed to kind of make the storyline more interesting, because Maxine's joining and they have a woman in the group now. It's sort
I
of
think
it's
that's the angle. I think that's the I think that could be the angle. I feel like that's the angle is just like eventually Becky Lynch is going to drop the title and kind of like have a feud with. I think they're saying that Maxine joins the division and then eventually Becky's gonna get into the mix because they're already feuding with Seth Rollins, and then you have like Becky Lynch in the mix again. And then you have Maxine this time getting the upper hand on Becky, like making Maxine look stronger, like getting her upper hand on Becky this time. So we can definitely do. They can definitely run that again, Maxine and Becky, because if you remember, Maxine lost the title but never got a rematch. So
yeah. It, they said they can continue that, and it would be really good for Maxine's career. But would, how good is Maxine at what she does? That's the question. Because
like
people,
like I said, I think Maxine Brie is due for a heel turn. Like I said, first, it's been a while since she was a heel, and second, her last heel run was terrible, like absolute terrible, like it was a joke.
yeah,
Like all she did was be part of a group called Maxine Models, and she barely did shit with that. Like it's weird.
yeah, it is weird. Um, I would say the other thing is that now for Alpha Academy now that they don't have Maxine in the group, you know, I would like to see
You
a
can have
more.
you can have just like you can have Maxine betray them and then the Vision like kind of like feud with Tozawa and Otis, and then Otis can just find a new hot girl.
That is true. Otis can,
But
but
I don't know. I have a strange feeling the WWE might release Otis and Tozawa. So
yeah, well, we'll have to wait to see what the news is concerning that. So
all
we'll see
right.
what happens.
Anything else? I mean, free for talk. Anything else?
No, I don't have anything else to talk about tonight.
All right. So we're gonna shut it off, log off for tonight. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Bruce Steele. This is Canadian Yorker. Um, the video will be uploaded to my channel and then our wrestling channel, which was live stream. And yeah, Canadian Yorker's YouTube link will be in my video description for the wrestling channel.